We're going to continue. We have tried different options here. We have this elevation with this wooden facade. Here we have tried the double skin with the first curtain wall, the second one here. We have tried different ways to work with massing and modeling. And we have even developed our own families. Okay, so this is advanced Revit. Learning how to develop your own families here. And what we're going to do now is to work with this second family that we have designed. And we're going to do something similar to this. Okay, so remember that here we have the frame, this rectangle. And then if we want this to be made of glass, we have to create like another frame here. Okay, so it's almost the same, but a little bit more complex. And we're going to learn how to do this. First, we have to open, I'm going to use this family, and then I'm going to save it as with a different name, and then I'm going to modify this family, and then we will work with another double skin here. Okay? So first we have to file, open, family, and I saved the family on my computer. Okay, so this is family 3, open. And we have this object. Remember that we created first this reference point, then reference lines, and then we created this surface and we changed the material to glass. Okay. What we have to do now, we can work with this one, and we have to create like another element, another frame in this direction. Okay. Remember that to do this has to be a reference line. So the difference between a line and the reference line is that if you hover your mouse, you see this chain of walls or lines. Okay. So you see that we have all these options. So that means that it's an active line. If you hover the mouse here, this is a line. It doesn't have any property, but this line has these properties. Okay, so remember that you have to click on reference and then to create a line. What we have to do now is to create a frame going through these lines as we did here. Okay, so remember that we created that frame here. First we created the shape, and then we created the form, a solid form, and then we have this. So we have to do the same thing with these lines now. To do that, I think we should delete the surface, the triangles, because if we don't do that, we can have some trouble. Remember that sometimes you can't select the triangle itself. If you press tab, okay, so you can press tab until you select the triangle, then click, and then delete. So now we have the family here, and we have just the reference point and the reference lines. Make sure that all these are reference lines, the 4 lines here. And now we have to create a shape perpendicular to this line, and then we have to create form through these reference lines. The first thing we have to do, we have to draw this shape on a perpendicular plane. So first we have to set the plane here. We can't do it. You see that we don't, if we click on this line, we can't see a perpendicular plane to this line. So the best way to do that is to create a reference point. We're going to click on reference. I'm going to create a point here, just in the middle. Okay. And now if we set the plane here, you see, I'm going to change the point of view. Okay, so we have this point here, we set the plane, and you see that if we go here, we have a reference plane that it's perpendicular to this line on that point. So we set this on the reference plane, and now we can draw a shape, and I'm going to draw a circle, a tiny circle. So if we do this, we have to make sure that this circle is perpendicular to this line. So I'm going to create a circle, and I'm going to change the diameter to 1 inch. Can be any diameter, but I want it to be smaller than this one. Okay, so this one, I think it was 2 by 4, and this is 1 inch. And now I can select this, and I have to select the reference lines. So press Control, click here, and now I have these reference lines. Okay, and create form, create a solid form. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so we have this frame going this way. Yeah, we can work here. Okay, so this corner is not perfect. We can change it by changing the shapes. That I want you to understand what we are doing, and then if you are a perfectionist, you can change it. I would delete this element. Oh, no, don't do that. Filter, curtain panels, reference planes. Okay, so apparently we cannot delete the reference point that we have created here. Doesn't matter. And now I'm going to do something similar to this one. So I'll do it again. So remember that we have to create a reference point here, just like in the middle. It doesn't have to be in the middle, but okay. Then we have to set a perpendicular plane. You see that we have a perpendicular plane here. And now we can draw a circle on this point. So we have a perpendicular circle here. We change the diameter, 1 inch. And now we select this. We select the reference line 1, reference line 2, and we create a solid form. There you go. Here, well, this is not perfect. We can make it better, okay? But I think this is too complicated. So we are going to do this, and if you want to make it perfect, then we have to design this connection between all these 4 bars and intersection here. But I think for today, it's more than enough doing this. And now we have a frame, but we don't have the glass. Okay, so we have frames, we have aluminum frames, but we don't have a glass here. So I'm going to, so if we want to create the glass element here with this triangle, then we have to select the reference line, this one, reference lines, this one and this one, and then we can create a solid form. Remember that we have to create a something like this, not solid, it's just a plane. Okay, we can do the same here. We select this, and this, and we don't want to select that one, so remember that. So we only want to select these 3, and then create the form, solid, the plane, and we can do the same with this one. 1, 2, 3. I don't want this one. Solid, plane, and finally this one. 1, 2, 3. Solid, plane. Okay. And now, if we can select, press Tab, we can select the triangle. We have to select all triangles. 2, 3, and 4, and I can change the material to glass. Okay. And there you go. So this is the new family now. This is a new family. So it's made of a rectangular frame here, a circular frame there, and we have glass in the middle. We will save it, save as a family, and let's name it family 4. Yes. And now I want to load this into the project. We're in this project. So it hasn't changed because this is family 3. Okay, so I want to create a new mass so that we can insert this family 4 and see what happens. So let's do it again, level 0. I'm going to use the massing, in place mass. I want to create a line from this grid line to that grid line. Now the 3D view, I want to select this, create a solid form, just the height here. Okay, and now I want to divide the surface, select the surface, divide it, and we can do it again, select the pattern, rectangular pattern. Now we have our family 4 here, a rectangular pattern, and I want a fixed number. This was 5, I think. Yes, and then in the other direction we had 4 elements. Okay, so now click here, click family 4, and there you go. Okay, we're adding more details, and we're making this curtain wall. Finish mass. Okay, so now this is just like this one. Well, here you see that we have different modules. How can we do that? That's a yeah, we can create a family, and then we can create different types within that family. But I think this is too much for today. Okay, so I think I would be happy if you're able to create this 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of double skins. And then what's next? Well, we have to cover this. Okay, so we did this with I don't know what happened here, with different roofs with these curved beams. Okay, that's fine. And now what would you do to create this elevation? Okay, so this is up to you. Try to do something beautiful and try to think of what we want. This effect of 2 transparent double skins, it works only in the south elevation. It doesn't work in the north elevation, because in the south elevation, we can make the most of the winter sun. For the east and west elevation, I would do something like that. We don't want eastern or western lights inside the building. They are harmful because in winter, basically, we don't have any sun, and in summer, we have a lot of sun heating heating a lot of hours in the morning and in the afternoon on the western and eastern facades. And then in the north, what would we need? Well, it depends. I don't know. Anyway, if our plan is something like that, you see how the court is here, and then we have this wing with storage or offices or locker rooms here on the east and the west. Okay, that might be a good idea. What I would do, I mean, if I'm thinking of sustainability here, and I'm thinking of the building itself, we have a basketball court. In basketball courts, having southern light or western and eastern lights it's not what we need, because it can hinder the game itself. Okay, so I think I'm going to rotate it. So this is something that we can learn today how to do it. Imagine that we have this by default. We have north, south, east, and west. What if I want to change the north? What if I want this to be the north facade and this to be the southern? I think I have explained that before, but I will do it again. So remember that we can go to manage. Okay, we have to do it on a level. Okay, so it doesn't work in 3D. So I'm going to do this here. So here you see the project north. Okay, the orientation project north. Just change it to true north. There you go. And now here coordinate. Okay, here we can rotate true north. It's in project location. Here we have a location for the project. If you click here, you know that you can change the, okay, by default it's in Boston. I don't know why. But if you change, or if you click here in position, we can rotate the true north. So if we rotate the true north, I would rotate this 180, and now I turn the project upside down. Okay, and now you go back to project north, and things have changed. And if we insert view annotate a symbol, if we select the north arrow, we would see that the north arrow is facing down. Well, this north arrow, it's so let's double click. Now we are editing the north arrow family, and we want this to be the north. So we can change the line type. Well, for some reason I can't modify the line type here. Well, find out why, but we can always create text, and we can place the north sign here. If this is too big, we can retype and change the text. Oh. Okay, now we load this into the project. Make sure that we select this project. It's not the family, it's the building itself. And now, right, and here we have the north arrow this way. Okay, so this is facing north. It's not important, because, well, it's just a way to show you how to work with the north arrow or changing the north. Anyway, what we should do is to create this. And once we have done that, you have to work with the whole building, and we should work with nice screenshots like this. Okay, we're not done with the building yet because I want to, next class, I want to explain how to work with construction documents. So we will start working with callouts. Okay, so we're not done with the building, but at least if you can take good screenshots with this, I think I would appreciate that. Okay. So that's it. Remember that we have the first family with the frames here. We have a second family in which we don't have any frame. Then we have this third family in which we created a simple, it's a simple family without any volume, but adapted to this curve mass. And then on the other elevation, we have these frames with, or these louvers made of wood. Okay. So that's an interesting way to design things, because basically we are just working with modules and then we are changing the module. So this is an introduction to parametric design. Okay, so in parametric design, we can adapt a module to different shapes. So this is what we are doing here. We have to create a mass, so the mass can have any shape. We have already created our own module as a family, and then we adapt this family to the mass we're working with. I think this is more than enough for today. If you are able to create this these 5 different families, then I want you to explore different possibilities, and I want you to design a facade, keeping in mind that next class we are going to work with this facade. Okay, so we will have a section and we will solve all the details, all the connections between the wall and the roof, and the basement, the first floor, here the connection with the roof. So this is what we're going to do next. So try to work with the building, try to use a nice criteria to cover all these facades. So it's not necessary that you do this each bay with a different, doesn't make any sense. So select what you want to do and then try to apply different solutions to different facades. And that's it. Next week, we will have a section here, and then we will solve the connection between the soil and foundations, then between the first floor and the curtain wall, and then the roof and the curtain wall. We will have a section like this, and we will learn how to work with construction documents using Revit.